January 25th meeting of the Agricultural Commission to order. First order of business, acceptance of, when was the last meeting?
It'll be the November
November
meeting.
minutes, yeah.
I believe. Yeah, November 2023.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have them here if anybody wants to.
I think I sent them.
I was gonna
You
say,
did?
It's so
yes.
long.
You did, because I looked them over to look at the budget when we were trying to
Okay.
get that other meeting together. Do you want
I'm all
to, you
set.
trust Laura?
Yeah.
I do too.
I glanced at them a while.
Anybody else?
I did the same thing when I was trying to remember something.
So I move we accept the meeting, the November minutes.
I'll second that.
Second. All right, I have a motion to accept the November 2023 AdCom minutes. Is there any need to discuss the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The motion passes unanimously. All right, moving on to Treasurer's report.
So right now, in the CPA money fund, if you want, there's $3,266.36 that we didn't spend out of the $45,000. The donation account has $4,380.61, and the budget has $668.94, which includes December and January National Grid bills.
What was the amount on that again?
668.94. And none of that has been, I haven't gotten anything from the accountant since like September, so.
Okay, I think Amy said that there might be something in the mailbox that she dropped off recently, or
I looked today and it wasn't there, so.
coming soon.
Okay. That I believe. It's not there yet.
I can check with her next time I see her.
That's fine. It's not a big deal, it's just, I don't wanna report that that's what we have and then haven't ever come when I get the thing from her, so.
Yeah, she mentioned something, but. All right. Can I get a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, motion passes unanimously. And on to incoming correspondence.
Okay, we got November National Grid bill for $14.22, December for $14.94, and January for $13.97, all from the accountant. We got a list of holidays for payroll purposes, if anybody wants to see it, from the town accountant. And then there are new reimbursement forms. Did you get that for cultural council already?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I just picked it
So I'm
up
gonna
today.
hang on to this one and because you have it.
Yes, yeah, I actually.
And that way we
I put
both
it
have
somewhere.
one.
I picked it up.
That way we both have
Well, I
one.
lost it already, but.
All it changes is the mileage rate for the current year, which we don't really use anyway, but. And then there are 4 garden registrations that came in to our mailbox. So I'm gonna hand those to Deborah. And I'm just recording them here and not actually recording them in the treasurer's report yet, because they're not deposited yet, so.
No, I have a lot of money
Yeah,
to deposit.
yeah, I'm sure you do. Under AgCom emails, there was items that needed a home from room 226, but I don't think any of those applied to us. Do you know anything about that?
No, I did.
I'm guessing that
none
by
of
now
them.
they've all found a home,
None of
but I
them.
haven't looked in there yet.
Yeah.
I know the only thing that we had, I think, was the file cabinet that was labeled Agricultural Commission, so
Yeah, that
it
was.
should have gone wherever it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
And then, from the select board, the 2023 annual town report requests and all of that. And then, this is really not necessarily pertinent, but somewhere, the rec committee is selling sweatshirts for like $40. And they sent us something to our AgCom email about it, so I don't know if anybody's interested, but they have both crew neck and hooded. And if anybody wants that information, I can send it to you. And that was it. Other than, annual notice and the warrant dates and the annual town meeting dates, which I think we all know anyway, so that's it though.
You can move on to the community garden report.
Do you wanna
If
look,
there's-
yeah,
Rules and regs?
I'm gonna look at the rules first. That's my
Yeah, we can talk
critical
about it all at
piece
once.
right
So we
now.
can,
Yeah.
we can jump right to that.
And then I'll tell you, yeah, because I've got so many applications and everybody signed off on the old rules.
Oh,
Mhm.
of course.
And so I've been emailing people, sorry. sorry. So now I have 4 more applications.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I made a copy of the rules that were up until recently. It looks like they finally all got pulled down.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of changes, but some of them are because of the fencing that's gone in. So if you look, the general rules are basically exactly the same, and I just condensed, it's about the 6th or 7th down, about children being supervised at all times, and then put in about gardeners are responsible for any guests that are brought into the garden, which was something that was further down, and I just consolidated it. I've been working really hard to keep this as only 2 pages, but as time goes on, I shrunk the old rules to put them onto 2 pages. They used to be over 4,
Yep.
and now that they're shrunk, now people are tweaking out their own version of it, so now I have to go back to thinking through the rules and adding things that they're kind of
Skirting.
interpreting,
Right.
giving their own interpretation to.
Okay.
And then I bolded out this last person in the garden thing, making sure that everything's closed up, which is generally not a problem, but periodically people, leave stuff open, so I keep drumming that into them. The next one, it's a whole separate category that I pulled from other pieces that were already in there. I feel it's important that we go back to the mandatory meeting at the beginning of the year that we used to have. It got to a time where the garden was not growing, so to speak, that it was always the same people, and it was like, why are we having this meeting? They know all the rules, but now that the garden in the last 2 years has just blown up, I did make new gardeners last year come to a mandatory meeting, but now I expect everybody, because now that we have to tweak these rules again, I think everybody should be accountable. So that is the new category about obligations. And then about being expected to participate in at least 3 work days that I call for maintenance work, which is in this already, but it used to be 2, it needs to be 3 now. The garden's just too big. And also helping them to understand that the sessions are for gardeners to work, not to work on their individual plots. I'm not calling them to the garden to work on their own plots, which some of them think that's what they're supposed to do. I'm calling them to the garden to do maintenance work that we have to do in the garden. So again, these are rules that are already in here. It's just I changed the mandatory work days to 3 and from 2. It's already in there, and the mandatory meeting, going back to that, which we used to have a long time ago. The gardening requirements are basically the same. You'll see at the end of the old rules that that very last paragraph I just noticed was the gardeners being expected to go to the workday, so I just switched that over. One other thing I added, and I think it's a great suggestion, is that we're recommending that people spray their plants with some kind of organic insecticide before they bring them into the garden. Last year, a woman who bought plants at Lowe's brought her plants into the garden, and they were just full of, I can't even remember what it was. I think were they flea beetles? I can't remember. But anyway, it like immediately was all over the place in the garden. So I put that in. I don't think it's controversial in any way, as I put it in as a suggestion to help keep the bugs down. The other stuff on the second page is all basically the same stuff. Oh, wait a minute, is this doubled up? Uh-oh, I just saw it, okay, I just saw something, I pulled it out of here and I didn't take it out on the thing about the gardeners, it being expected to work on
Oh,
the 3
yeah, it's in
days. I can
place.
see I doubled it up when I was doing it, and I'm like, that all needs to be in a different place, so I'll pull that out, because it doesn't need to be in there twice. And then just above, halfway down the page, the sentence that begins with the perimeter fencing, that it should not be used to support any plants, vines, stakes, blah, 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 or hang tools in the fencing, which we were starting to have people hang the tools
Yeah.
in the fencing. Just nothing. There is going to be, when we do our first mulch day, a mulch path all the way around the inside perimeter of the fence. But that doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to not stick something that grows up it, and I don't think it's good for the fence if people are starting to grow all kinds of stuff and are yanking on it when they
Right.
pull it down at the end of the year. So that's new. And then the rest of the stuff is all basically the same, about where things are supposed to go, the vegetation and the rocks and everything, because we now are going to have everything on the one side of the garden. I just changed the wording to indicate where all that stuff goes. And under tools, I took out the part about the rototiller, because I'm still not comfortable with everybody having the ability to go into that shed and take the rototiller out and do as they want with it. So we're still going to till the garden ourselves. A couple of the other gardeners and I will go in and do that at the beginning. We did it the last 2 years anyway.
Okay.
So the way I've seen people take care of tools, it's just the equipment is expensive. And we don't need to be paying repair bills when I have people in the garden that I can depend on to.
So is the tiller down there?
Yeah, the tiller's down in the shed.
So
And
you
I'm
sh-
the only one who has the code. Me and 2 other gardeners have the code to get into the shed. We do have tools that we leave outside the shed for the other gardeners to use, and those we're going to hang on the back of that shed this year. And we used to have them in a kind of this gray storage thing, which I want to get rid of.
Yep.
So that being said, I will make that correction of pulling that statement out. Boy, that's going to give me some more room to write more stuff.
A whole new paragraph.
Still be in my 2-page. So I'm requesting that we approve these so that they can be posted, so that I don't have to have the entire gardening community sign off on them again.
Motion to approve with
Or if
the one
anybody
correction that
has
you.
any questions.
Oh, yeah, I just want to do.
Yeah.
Look good to me.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the 2024 Community Garden Rules and Regulations pending the amendments mentioned. Can I get a second?
Second.
Is there any need to discuss the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The motion passes unanimously.
And James, do you need this in PDF when I send it to you?
However you send it, I can.
Okay, so
Turn it
the
into anything.
pages is that's from,
Um,
some people send me back and say, can't open it, can't
Mhm.
open it, so.
Yeah.
Anybody who has anything other than Mac
Yeah.
or Apple can't open Pages.
Yeah.
I
So is
have
it-
a bit of everything, so.
Okay, so I'm okay sending it in pages?
Yeah, whatever works
All
for
right.
you.
Alright, so that's that. We have so far, the donations are coming in like donation only.
Really?
When I just went through this, there's now $620 in donations alone with not taking, people, I've got $50. People are sending us, the garden,
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
there's another $50 one in here, so when I was keeping track, yeah.
Wow.
So $620 so far in donations. And I don't have this, let me see, it looks like one of them I'm confused about because they came in as a non-resident, but they gave a Berlin address.
Oh.
So I'll have to find out what
didn't
that
look at them that
person
closely.
meant by that. So there's 4 out-of-town applications right now, and this looks like there's 12 Berlin residents so far have applied. So that's where we are with that. And then I've been emailing them and saying I'm putting them in the queue, but I can't make their application official until they sign off on the new rules because of the changes. And apologizing for the house of cards that we've had for the last month.
We finally got together.
So,
We're here.
anyway, so that's that. And then the last thing has to do with the fencing. I had drafted an email about, to the contractor as to them coming back to support the corners. And I want to show you the pictures. I forgot to bring my iPad, but the only reason I found this out was we have a Girl Scout who's doing a gold, what is it called, it's not a gold star, it's a gold award or whatever project. And she built some bat houses for us for mosquito control. And I wanted to put them on the corner posts closest to the brook that was far away from all the gardens so that nobody freaked out, even though the bats wouldn't be flying around
When they're there.
during the day. But I thought that was the best place for it, was over by the water and everything. So we went to look at the posts, and it's like, the corner post is like that. So,
Ground's been saturated.
well,
So-
A little bit.
Yeah.
a little bit,
So that probably
but
didn't help.
but it's good, and you can feel like we went and pushed on them. I asked the building inspector to come down, even though it's not his jurisdiction, just to give me an opinion.
Yeah.
And he said, you can go either way with this. He said, it looks like what happened was when they for some of the posts, the the fencing is wrapped around the post, and so it's
Oh, so
pulling
pulled
on it.
in. Okay.
So I'm gonna find one of the better pictures. I'll send it around so you can see how they're leaning. So I felt that it was really the decision of the, here you can kind of see it in that one, if
Mhm.
it's bright. The decision of the commission, and that's what Richard said, was he's like, you can pursue it or you cannot pursue it. You can make a decision, yes or no, whether we think it's worth having someone come and brace them. He said there should have probably been the diagonal braces put into them. You can kind of flip through the pictures if you want to see the others that I took, but they're all leaning in some direction.
Okay.
So, but they're good and solid in the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so probably just a brace going in
Yeah.
there.
So is this an email that you would think that I should just send to him and see what he says about doing it, or just leave it alone?
Do we think it's gonna get worse over time?
Well, that's what I'm wondering about. I mean,
I guess it doesn't hurt to inquire.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
send an email and see what he thinks. I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
then we can go from there, I guess,
okay.
right?
Yeah, and I'll read
That's
to
my
you.
thoughts. I
Oh,
don't know.
What, I know we talked, there was a little bit of, like, they didn't use all the money, right? Wasn't that originally what
There's
had
like
happened?
3,000 left in there,
So
yeah.
I wonder if, not that you want to pay for something twice, but
Mm,
if they didn't put it in their bid for corner pricing or something.
right.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
We're not really clear if we can use the rest of that or not, but, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure the status on it is right now,
Mm.
but
But that's a possibility anyway.
we could find
Yeah.
out.
So I could ask him to, I mean, more than likely, they're not gonna be coming, I mean, well, the winter has been such that maybe they would come.
Yeah, you know, what winter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Wait for it.
I was gonna send him the
Yeah.
pictures and say that we've observed the corner posts at the Berlin Community Garden that were installed in August are no longer standing straight. Could you please come to examine them and let us know how we can
Yeah,
have the situation corrected?
yeah, at least that addresses the
Yeah.
situation and
Yeah.
then.
Okay, and I
Go
did,
from there.
when he finished with the project, he said to me, "We're not walking away from this." He said, "If you have any problems,
Mhm.
we want to hear from you."
Okay.
So I feel comfortable that I'll
Yeah.
get
At
a
least
response.
you'll get a response,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I
I'll get
said,
a
just
response.
inquire about it and say, hey, you know, why is it pulling in?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the corners should be braced up a little bit, but,
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
Yeah.
So I'll CC
Can't hurt to
you on
inquire.
that, James.
Yeah.
When I send it, I'll probably send it sometime tomorrow, and we'll see what we get back.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it makes sense.
I think I'm done.
I think I'm done.
So do we have to vote on that, you know?
Yeah, may as, we could vote, well, there's not really a whole lot to vote on until we know what they wanna do, but
Oh, okay.
you could just, I mean, we can.
No, I mean vote on me having to do that.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt.
Make it official.
Yeah. Does somebody wanna make a motion?
Oh, sure. Motion made to.
To inquire.
Motion made to make the inquiry to the fencing
Second.
company.
Alright, we have a motion for Deborah to get in touch with the contractor and see if there's anything that needs to be done in relation to the corner posts on the fence. Any need to discuss the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Alright, which means the last thing on the agenda is the annual report. Which I think everyone has a copy of some sort. So I handed to both of you. I think I emailed this around to everyone
Yeah,
earlier.
you did, that's where I got it from.
I don't know if anyone had a chance to look at
On
it.
December 12th,
what?
they emailed it.
E what?
What's that?
We'll start sending
Yeah,
physical
see.
copies.
I won't get those either.
Well, let's go. We can hand deliver them.
No, Laura just says, check your email.
Yeah.
I do.
Says in
Try
the
to-
text, check email.
I have a Shane and Eric group in my text.
I can also text this stuff to you too if you want, if that's easier.
Whatever.
Whatever works for you.
Whatever.
But,
Don't forget there's a meeting tonight.
Yeah.
Right, pretty much.
Come visit. I don't know if people want to read through it real quick, and then we can see if there's any changes that we want to make.
Is installation spelled correctly?
That's one of the things that I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I should check that.
I think it should be installation,
Yeah,
Yes.
not
S-T-A.
installation.
Yeah.
I even Googled what the difference was. Installation is, applies to
Yeah.
liquids and not equipment.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Now, see, and I would have gone the installation of morals and,
Oh,
or, you know,
yeah,
that kind of stuff
yeah.
too in a person.
Yeah.
To instill.
That works too, yeah.
It just,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have picked it up. To be honest.
it just jumped out at me all
It
of a
just makes
sudden.
it makes sense in my
Yeah.
head.
There's bullet points that didn't print on that as well.
Oh, that's interesting. They were on my screen.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't print.
just the printer.
Yeah, but this was my printer at home.
Broken everyone's. Printers and I have a special relationship.
Mhm. So, because I was thinking that Kevin Kraszewski passed away in fiscal year '23, I went back and pulled the '22 one
Mhm.
just to see what we did.
Mm-hmm.
But he was mentioned in 2022.
Okay, yeah.
So that should be all set.
Yeah.
But in doing that, I also noted that in the '22 report, we called out that Deborah was voted vice chair and Shane was approved and, through the select board, but I
Mhm.
don't think we ever included Eric
Mm.
as joining.
We can add that.
So, do you want the wording from last time?
Yeah, I have the
Okay.
old one, yeah.
I must be there, because my name's on
I
there.
know, but. And other than that, I thought it was fine.
Speaking of which, I had somebody approach me about doing something with the town.
Filling the vacancy,
Yeah.
potentially.
Wanted to know if there was some kind of committee he could be a part of. I said, I got just the one for you.
Got him.
I think we should invite him to February,
Okay.
Yeah, see if he wants to come, that'd be good.
so we can all meet him and we can see what it
Yeah.
looks like.
I won't, not that I have to be here, I won't be here
Okay.
February.
Uh-oh.
It's my turn to go away for a while. I had a suggestion for the third paragraph, and it was precipitated by,
Mhm.
I don't go on Facebook, but I just happened to go on Facebook, and I saw this little thing going on about the fence and the garden and all that kind of stuff, and
Mhm.
it was really hard for me to not respond, but I chose not to respond to what was going on because there was a lot of misinformation. And once you start getting embroiled in
Like having a
that, it
business in
just
town.
is like,
Yeah.
don't even do it. But what it precipitated was, it's the last sentence of the third paragraph. And one of the things was the misconception that there were only a very small group of people in that garden.
Mhm.
And it's not.
Yeah.
If you look at, we said there are 44 gardeners. There's
Mhm.
really a lot more than that. There's 40 families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe that wording is better for us to show that we are reaching a lot of people in the community. We've got 40 families down there that are farming, not just 44 people.
Mhm.
So
Individuals,
what I was
yeah.
thinking that if it said, I wrote out a total, I can just hand this to you, James, if you want to, if it's acceptable to everybody, what I wrote out. A total of 38 plots and 10 raised beds were tended by 40 families this season, with aid coming from surrounding towns.
Mhm.
I think it shows that it's a much bigger
Yeah, it
place
represents it a little better.
than
Yeah.
people think.
Yeah.
And then the other one was in the bulleted part in the next paragraph, the planting and maintenance of native plants to attract. Those are specific to native endangered bees and butterflies. So I just wanted that to be put in there, if it was okay, that
Mhm.
maintenance to attract native endangered bees and butterflies. And you can cross off pollinators and other beneficial insects. Here.
Post it.
There's my email.
See, that I can understand.
Now you don't have to send them. No, that sounds good.
Okay. Otherwise, I am very happy with everything there.
Excellent. Was there anything else that jumped out at anybody? One thing that I didn't talk about, which has been done in the past, I don't know how much happened last year, but that extends the reach of the garden considerably, was when folks donate to the food pantry.
Yeah, last year that
Yeah.
kind of fell apart. We asked people, or let me back up. The problem started when the donation had to be several days before the food pantry was actually gonna
Distribute everything.
distribute everything. And so it became, we were donating morning of,
Mhm.
because people were physically going to the pantry. And then when we tried to back it up, and I couldn't get people to drop the stuff off on the days that it was supposed to be dropped off, so they were asked to donate as they could. I don't think that worked as well, so we're going to try and get that going. I know several people donated to the Veterans Pantry that's in Northborough, that serves all the communities around here. So, we could put that it was donated to the Veterans Pantry.
Yeah, I'll add that.
But I'll talk to Mary again before the season and see if they've changed how they do it, and see if I can get things up and running again.
Yeah, and we can look at just ways to overcome logistics. Because we usually hold some stuff in the cooler up at the farm to bring over. A lot of times the Clinton Food Pantry is the one that we end up working through because they come and pick it up. But
Yeah. That's always helpful
But,
if somebody
yeah.
can come and get it. It's
and there's a few other organizations that we talk to, so it's something else that we could also look at, is how to aggregate things some. But yeah, I'll add in the Veterans Food Pantry information because that's really good. Because that's the whole point, is that the reach of the garden is more extensive than I think a lot of people realize. It's sort of at face value.
I'm wondering if there's a way to distribute things maybe at Northbrook Village too.
Mhm.
Because we do have people from Northbrook
Mm.
who, if we could maybe once a week have a surplus that they could go put over in their community room or something to
Mhm.
be able to access it. They don't necessarily have to be using the food pantry, but I'm sure many of them would appreciate some fresh vegetables. So that's a possibility too that we can try this year and see how that works.
Yeah.
Because then I could have somebody who lives there physically take it there.
Right.
Right.
That would work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ba-dum-bum-bum. If people are comfortable with those changes, this is due at the end of the month, and so the thing to do might be approve it pending those amendments, and then I can make those, send around a final draft to everybody, and assuming that everybody's happy.
Sounds
I
good.
can
Assuming
submit it.
everybody looks at their email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, assuming somebody tells me that I have an email.
We'll
about
find
that.
some way to bring it to
We can handle that.
I told you going into it.
You gotta
This
come
isn't
find
new.
me. Can I get a motion?
Motion to accept the draft with the discussed amendments.
Second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to accept the 2023 Agricultural Commission Annual Report pending the amendments that were discussed at tonight's meeting. Is there any need to discuss the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. And the motion passes unanimously. All right, and that concludes the agenda. I get a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.